New York. New York City is a big city. It is the most densely populated city in the country United States in the planet Earth, which I live in. It has approximately 3 million rats, 4 million pigeons, 5 million bikes, 8 million people, and of course, a lot of shoes. But you don't really notice them until you see a really big one. Like what I saw last month. I was strolling through Manhattan when I saw the shoe. I didn't want to be rude and jump right in, so I followed it from a distance, very, very casually. Eventually, we ended up in Central Park. The shoe suddenly dropped a part of its outer sole. As I was picking up and handing over the piece, I heard a guy's voice coming from the shoe. Thank you. I wanted to be nice, as I always am, so I got him a bottle of water, and as he rested by the fountain, I tried to start a conversation. He told me that he was not walking in the shoes, instead he was walking the shoes, like one would walk a dog. He told me that the shoes are just kind of fused together one day and started to chat with him. If he does not walk them every weekend, they get really mad. He saw that I wasn't so convinced, so he showed me his Reddit post about it. I saw this is pretty weird, so naturally, I wanted to investigate. Just when I was about to leave, I noticed that he seems to be pretty tired, so I decided to give the shoe a little tour and let him rest. I looked around for a potential way to show the shoe some different scenery. A friendly pedicab driver agreed to the task. In fact, he was excited to drive around with the shoe.
There's no better place in the world that would love to run in shoes. Those shoes right here. Everybody knows the song New York, New York. Okay, where everybody comes at the end.
He told me that he loved the shoes that he's wearing because they make him most of the money.
If you remember Frank Sinatra, one day for Frank Sinatra's birthday, somebody gave him a pair of vagabond shoes like this. I gave it to him into his birthday. He didn't get angry. Somebody gave me a pair of vagabond shoes for my birthday. He used the vagabond shoes when running in the park, and after enjoying one day in the park running with those vagabond shoes, he went home and created the song New York, New York.
I see.
Okay, Siri, please play the song New York, New York, Frank Sinatra, YouTube. Forgive me.
We biked around and bumped into this two girls who seemed to be captivated by the shoe.
Do you like your shoes?
Yeah, I do. These are hers. She's also wearing my shoes.
How many shoes do you have?
Like probably 4 pairs that fit me right now. But I have like 2 other pairs that I've had since I was like small.
Do you think they will get sad if you don't wear them?
Nah, I just have them for like memory.
Oh, you don't believe in any non-human stuff having any emotions? What about your cat?
Maybe. Yeah, man. I was convinced that stuffies were alive, and I would start crying if I forgot their name.
But you don't name your shoes.
I should.
If he has a name, what do you think it should be?
Gerald. Gerald.
Gerald?
Gerald.
After Gerald got his name, I bid the friendly driver farewell, and after a while, also said goodbye to Gerald. I decided to meet some of the folks who replied to the post. The first guy that I met had a pretty much same issue. All of his old shoes piled together one day and sort of started to have their own consciousness. He was so afraid and I was so sorry that I couldn't offer any help. In order to relieve some of his fear and clear up my confusion, I managed to speak with a Japanese expert who had actually written an entire paper on shoes.
Something for detecting earthquakes.
He told me that the shoes were initially designed for detecting earthquakes. However, he found out during his research that some of the shoes seems to have their own mind.
Okay, when we meditate, our body can rest about 3 times more compared to when we are sleeping, right? So similar data was found with shoes, and maybe nobody can actually see, they have mind. Obviously, you cannot see my mind, right? That's not visible. But from the data and evidence, we started thinking maybe they do actually have mind. And do they have compassion? That is.
He also believed that although there's a lack of evidence, the shoes, because they come in pair, would naturally have compassion.
I was convinced that, oh yes, they naturally know, they need each other, right?
Well, the talk with the expert didn't clear up my confusion, but it did provide some fresh perspective about shoe. While I was still putting my findings in order, another responder invited me to his house. After he verified my Reddit identity,
Did you say my Reddit name?
he welcomed me
Nice
with
to meet
wide
you. Nice
smile
to meet
and an even firmer handshake.
They've been talking to me all the time, Let me show you. Boy, do I have something to show you here. Look, this is Jimmy. This is my everyday runner. At first he was pretty clean, but now he likes the adventure, so that's why he told me not to clean him. These are all friends. They're like little puppers, okay? They're like little puppers. And you have to make sure that you take them out for a walk once in a while, or else they get jealous. So this here is Winston, okay? He's a fancy boy, okay? He's high maintenance, but genuine letter, and he only speaks the best of language. He never cusses, unlike here. This is just house slippers, but he's the most mellow of the bunch. He's the nicest one. But again, I make sure I spend my time with all of these because they're kind of like my children now,
He told me that he was so glad to find people sharing the same language with him because the shoes has been talking to him all the time.
Even when I'm walking down the street, other people's shoes talk to me. I'm like, "Good day, how are you, sir? Good day." Just the normal thing,
So can you talk to my shoes?
Yeah, they're telling me that they would like to join my family. Actually, give me those.
That was pretty weird, but I guess my shoes are now in a nice place and have friends with similar ambitions, but I would miss them. After this, I was a little bit afraid of going on an investigation, so I decided to spend a weekend chilling in Central Park. Surprisingly, when I got there, I saw Gerald. Of course, I brought them water, and when I was about to walk off, I became afraid that I won't see them again, so I asked if I can take Gerald for a portrait. He and Gerald both agreed, so we went to this guy drawing for other people. The guy said the request was pretty weird, but he accepted drawing a shoe anyway. He told me that he had never saw shoes could have emotions. Although he appreciated how comfortable his shoes are, he won't have any emotional attachment to them. I felt pretty sad about that, and wanted to ask why. But before I was even able to ask, he told me that he was finished with the drawing and asked me if I want a signature.
还用签字吗？
签呗，
签啊！
签你名字。
我一般就是这样。
签你首字母呗。
啊？
签你名字首字母呗。
这就是我名字。
Two. Put on my worried shoes, my worried shoes. And my shoes took me so many miles and they never wore out. My worried shoes, my never forgot.